Listen to this episode if you have ever wondered what the heck a day in my life looks like as a full-time business owner. I know a lot of people always ask me this question: what's my morning routine, my night routine, what does my day-to-day look like as a freepreneur as well that likes to have that balance? So we're gonna dive into that today. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Small Business Growth Podcast. I am your host, Madison Page, and this is one of our brand new coaching session episodes where it is a submitted question by Stephanie, and we are diving into her exact question in today's episode. If you have not heard, we are now taking all of our Friday episodes and turning them into coaching sessions just like this one. If you have an exact business situation or question or problem that you currently have, you can submit them in the show notes below, and I will answer them on a Friday episode. I was really looking for a way for you to get involved in the podcast. You guys love the podcast. I get DMs all the time of people wanting, asking for certain topics, requesting topics, having questions that they would love a podcast episode on. So I started to see that theme and I said, why not turn one episode a week into a community asked question? So I'm answering the exact questions that you have right now and to provide you some support. I am all about community building. I want this to be a two-way street. I love when you send me DMs and ask me questions, but I thought this was a great way to really give you the exact support that you are looking for. So you can click the link in the show notes, submit your questions, your situations, your problems, and I will answer it on a next episode. So Stephanie asked, what does a day in my life look like? She said, it looks like you're always having a grand old time on your Instagram stories. What do you really do for your day-to-day? So just to be totally transparent, my day-to-day looks very different from day to day. I do not do the same tasks in my business every single day, but I have similar routines. So my morning and my night routine look quite similar every single day. What I do in the morning, what I do at night. I did just get a puppy, and so my mornings and my night routines are slightly thrown off these days because it's not just on me, but I do have a very similar morning and night routine. I wake up, I answer some of my questions, I meditate, I do my things in the morning. If you want a morning and a night routine, I can give that to you, but this is more about what my day-to-day work life looks like. So the night before, so let's say it's Sunday night, it's hard to answer this because I can really map out what my different days of my week look like, but Sunday nights I map out everything that I have to do for that week. I do a big dump list of all of my tasks. So I have a running to-do list for the week. And then I assign 3 major tasks for each day that I have to do Monday through Wednesday. Wednesday night, I do the same thing for Thursday and Friday because sometimes if I missed it or not. So what I do is when I sit down to work, I tell myself I work 10 to 4 right now. Some days I'm working 9 to 6, some days but I just tell myself I have to be sitting down by 10 and I can call it quits at 4. If I have other things to do, I keep doing it from there, but those are the hours that I am structured. Because I have my puppy and we're doing other things. And right now I am waking up super early because my boyfriend starts work at 5 a.m. So I am just waking up with him. I have been answering messages at 6 a.m., answering messages at 5 a.m. because I'm up and I'm sitting on the couch doing my morning routine and I have started answering some messages. So again, it's fluid, but I am structured when I can be. So when I don't have to be, or when I don't want to be, I don't have to be. So that means that I tell myself I work 10 to 6. If I don't want to answer questions before 10, I don't have to. If I want to go to lunch sometimes at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, I will, because I've been structured my other days of working 10 to 4 or 10 to 6 or whatever it really looks like for that week. So my day-to-day looks like I sit down. A lot of times I already have my initial questions answered because I'm answering my client questions at least. So my clients have private messaging access to me. It's normally the first exact thing that I do every single day is I answer their questions that came in overnight. So if you don't know, inside of my live programs, you do get access to ask me questions. So you basically have me in your pocket to send me messages, voice messages, questions, texts, all of that. that is the pretty much first thing I do every single day for my business. I answer my client questions. Maybe it's sometimes I'm making my coffee. Sometimes it's I'm sitting outside with my dog in the morning and I'm answering their questions. It's the first thing I do. If I haven't done it yet, I do it as soon as I sit down. I answer my DMs on Instagram. I check my emails, check all my messages first. And then what I do is I look at my list from the night before to see what are my 3 major things that I have to do today. A lot of times I pull it up in my Google Calendar, and every single day, Monday through Friday, I have a different objective. I like to keep my brain in the same bucket every day. So what I mean by that is Tuesdays and Thursdays are my coaching call days. I like to keep my Tuesdays and Thursdays fully in the coaching mode so my brain doesn't have to shift from coaching to creating to analytics to analyzing to strategizing, doing all of these different things. It's just coaching. Tuesdays and Thursdays, my whole brain is in the like order of coaching. So I'm on calls pretty much all day. So I'm providing feedback. I'm doing different things in that sense where I really am just coaching, providing detailed feedback. Monday, Wednesday, Friday are a lot more creative behind the scenes work days. So a lot of times my Fridays I like to call creative Fridays. I'm creating, either I'm recording podcasts, I'm creating content, I might be redesigning my website, things like that that just take a little bit more creative juices. And then Monday and Wednesday are like deep work days. They're behind the scenes. Sometimes it will be providing detailed feedback on client work where they're submitting their content calendars or they're submitting their brand guides or they're submitting email funnels, things like that that they're looking for detailed feedback on. I like to do that stuff on Wednesday. Wednesday is more of like, let me look at my client stuff. Let me look at my programs, things like that, kind of editing some of those. And Monday is a big deep work day. So I use Monday to do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Deep work meaning working on my business. So what you can see here is I'm working in my business 2 to maybe 3 days a week, and I'm working on my business to the 2 other days of the week on Mondays and Fridays. And so this means that I am spending time outside of just doing the things that are going to, that I have already done to make money on my current clients that I have. Not that I'm not supporting my clients on those days, but the major things that I'm doing are within actual like working on my business, looking at my email funnels, producing new programs, strategizing what my future looks like, looking at my numbers, doing things on my website. It's a lot more of the behind the scenes stuff happens on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So my day-to-day looks very different. I love that my day-to-day looks different pretty much every day of the week. My Tuesdays and Thursdays are always coaching call days. Sometimes I won't have any coaching calls if nobody needs any calls that day. I don't have any, and then I adjust it based on what is on my calendar that week, or maybe I take that day off. My day-to-day does look very different. I've done that because I don't like repetition. I like my days to look different. I like to have that flexibility, so I have built that in. I think it's a really good idea to make your days structured in the sense of you're in the same bucket every day. Pick a category, creating or shipping, you're making, you are strategizing what your next collection release is. Pick the different things and stay in that bucket all day long. I never have more than 3 major tasks that are at least on my to-do list for that day. Of course, if I'm done with those 3, they didn't take as long, then I will go into some of my other smaller tasks. But the big 3 is always what I stick to. Why? Because it doesn't overwhelm you. You only have to do 3 things that day. That's all you got to do. And sometimes my 3 things are different calls that I have to do, or something that some of them might take me a couple of hours, some of them might take me 15 minutes, but my day-to-day really looks structured because of what I do the day before. So I know today's Friday. I won't plan on what I'm doing on Monday, Sunday night. Let's say today was Tuesday. I wake up, I look at what I'm doing, I check my calendar, check my messages, check my emails, see what's going on that day, check my list of my big 3 things. I wake up kind of knowing what my big 3 things are because I wrote them down from the night before. So at the end of my day, I write down, okay, these are my big 3 things that I have to do tomorrow, so I can wake up with that intention in mind. Do I gotta get ready for the day? Am I gonna be recording videos? What am I really doing? Like, do I need to look a little bit more presentable because I'm gonna be on video? What does that really look like? I know that when I wake up in the morning because I look at it at the end of every day. So morning routine, check messages, check calendar, check everything, make sure I haven't missed anything, check in with my clients, and then look at my big 3 things for the day, prioritize which ones I want to do first, get a good idea in my head of what the rest of my calendar day will look like. I time block my days sometimes if I'm really, really busy, if I'm in like big crunch time, big launch season, something like that, I will time block my days so I know at that point, okay, for the next 2 hours, I'm gonna allot it to this, I'm gonna take a break for lunch, the next 2 hours after that, I'm gonna do this, the next 2 hours after that, I'm gonna do this other thing, call it good. And then at the end of the day, I look at what I wanna do tomorrow, again, check in with my clients, make sure if I missed any messages throughout the day, they are answered before I check out for the evening, and then check out for my next day, and then enjoy my evening. And I have my notifications silenced after 6 p.m. for everything. I have my time limits on, so I am not going on my socials. I'm not going on my private messaging app with my clients unless they absolutely say, SOS, I need you right now. I have the boundary set so I can check out, and I no longer feel the guilt at night that I should be working. Why that is because I am super structured at the other times of my day. So to answer what my day-to-day looks like is, it looks absolutely different every day of every week, other than my Tuesdays and Thursdays, but my structure and my habits throughout the day are very similar. Your habits run your life. Your habits are what makes everything make sense. You need to get in a routine and in a structure. And so I'm really structured on the days that I can be. So on the days that I don't want to be, I don't have to be. Today's Friday. I have friends coming over tonight. So probably around 2 to 3 p.m., I'm going to call it quits for the day, check in with my clients right before I go. I'm going to call it quits, clean the house, make some yummy food, and walk my dog a little bit before. It's supposed to be 55 degrees outside today. Probably going to go for a nice long walk, but I was structured all week, and I've been incredibly structured through the last couple of weeks because I've been launching, which means I don't feel like working a full day, so I don't have to. That's where that freepreneur comes in. Be structured when you can be, so when you don't want to be, you don't have to be. I hope that this was helpful for you. Stephanie, I'm so glad that you asked this question. This is one that I get asked really often. What does my day-to-day look like? If you have a current coaching problem or a current business problem, a current business question that you are looking for support on, click the link in the show notes, and I would love to answer your question on one of our next Friday coaching sessions. I hope you have a wonderful day. Come hang out with me on Instagram at thisismadisonpage. We also put out new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. I love you, I'm rooting for you, and I'm in your corner always. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.